Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Super 7 Disney Ultimates Prince John from Disney's Robin Hood. And I've got to say, after the disappointment that was Super 7 Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, I can't really tell you that I'm excited about this figure, but I am hopeful. I think that he looks good, and I've heard some good things about this figure. I've actually heard that Prince John is much better than Mickey, so that kind of makes me hopeful. And you know what? I really hope that Prince John and Pinocchio are awesome figures. And hopefully it turns out that Mickey was just a dud and 2 out of the 3 figures from the first set are awesome. That's what I'm hoping for at the end of these 3 reviews. That way I could look at this line and still be cautious about it, but not feel like it's a complete lost cause. Because like I said, I really want some good Disney figures. And I feel like Super 7 is capable of it, but with Mickey, they really just kind of shit the bed, I would say, for lack of a better term. But I hope that Prince John and Pinocchio are awesome, but I guess we'll see. But let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the packaging. First off, just like Mickey, the packaging here is awesome. Look how reflective this is. You could actually see like my toy shelves behind me, and you can see me and my ring light. Hello! But yeah, the reflection on here is crazy, but it does look cool. It says Robin Hood right here. It says Prince John at the bottom. We have the gems on the side. On the back, it just says Disney, and there's that monster again. Over here, we have some more gems, and that looks really cool. But let's go ahead and get this off here and see what we have going on the inside. So there's Prince John, and like I said, he looks better right through the box. He already looks like a better figure. There's a bunch of accessories in there, which is awesome. Right here, it does say Robin Hood. Down here, it says Prince John. I really like this purple here. That looks really nice. That's a very cool design. On the back, we get a look at goofy-ass Prince John, and then down here it does give us a bit of information about the characters. So, yeah, really good stuff. And like I said, the figure does look good through the box, but we're not going to get too excited yet because Mickey looked pretty decent through the box too. But yeah, let's go ahead and open them up and take a look. Alright, so here we have Prince John right out of the box, and I've got to say, he's definitely much better than Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey. He's not perfect though. There are some things I wish were a little bit different, but mostly in the articulation department. And honestly, it's kind of hard to bash Super 7 about articulation because they've made it very clear that they really don't prioritize articulation. They're more concerned with the look and the aesthetic of the characters that they're doing. And looking at it through those lenses, I think that they definitely accomplished their mission with Prince John because he looks amazing. I really think that he came out awesome. Like, I love the way he looks. I think the soft goods robe is very well done. The stitching on it is very clean. And I like the material. I wish they would have used this material on Mickey, because this stuff is way better than whatever they used for him. But yeah, this came out awesome, man. I love the way he looks. He doesn't feel like floppy and cheap. He feels good. He looks good. And even though he doesn't have like a crazy amount of articulation, there's definitely enough in there to get some expressive poses out of him and just have like fun messing around with them. I do wish they did something different for the torso because as it is right now, the torso is just one solid piece. So you won't be able to get him to sit down or anything. And that's something that I wanted to be able to do with him, to have him like sit in a chair, like in a throne or whatever. So that's impossible. But aside from that, I like this guy a lot. I think that he came out really good. But yeah, just take a look at him. This robe is really nice. And I just love the goofy face. You know, the spirit of the character is definitely there, so that is awesome. And then he does come with Sir Hiss, and this is really well done too. He actually comes with 2 of these. But this one has some pretty bad paint on the face. Nothing crazy, but just a couple of scuffs that don't look too good. And then the eyes, the eye is a little bit sloppy as well. But yeah, these snakes are really cool. Like, they're articulated. You could pose the head up and down and like spin it. And you're able to do that on both of them. So that is super cool. I like that a lot. So they did a good job with those. And yeah, just look how cool they are next to each other. These are awesome. Yeah, they look great. These are going to look awesome on the Disney shelf. So I'm very happy with the way these guys turned out so far. And Prince John does have a lot of nice detail and sculpting work. Starting off at the head, I think they did a great job with this. I really love the goofy facial expression that he has. It's very fitting for the character. And I think the head sculpt just came out very nice. I will say though, it's not like John's head sculpt has way more paint than the Mickey head sculpt, but I think the colors that he's casted in just kind of work a little better, and they just don't look as cheap. He almost doesn't really need paint because this color looks nice, and then the color of the snout looks nice, and they just kind of put them together and it works. For Mickey, that wasn't the case. Those colors just look lifeless, you know? But right here, it just worked out fine without having to overdo it with paint. But there is a little bit of paint work here, like with the mouth and the nose and the eyes, and all of that stuff looks really, really good. And then you have the crown, which helps bring it all together and make it look even better. But this crown is awesome, and it is removable. There are pegs that stick into the ears, so it has no problem coming on and off. So that looks really good, and the gold on this crown is really nice. And then so are the diamonds and stuff. This crown looks really good. But yeah, man, I really like this head sculpt. They did a great job on that. And then moving down into the body, starting off with the robe. This robe is awesome. Like, it's very well done. The stitching is very clean. It looks super good. The material feels nice. All the stitching is very well hidden. Like, look at that. It's all super clean and looks very good. Right here, you could see that there's a little bit of red where all of this part kind of meets. So, you know, that's understandable. But aside from that, this robe is like perfect, man. This looks really good. We've got the spots on the collar there and on the cuffs. Yeah, they did a great job with the robe. And then as far as the body under the robe, there's not a whole lot going on. We do have some sculpted details around the lower neck here, so that's cool. But then the rest of it is just smooth plastic. But, you know, as far as the look goes, it looks fine and it works, you know. Going down to the legs, there's not a whole lot going on. But again, it all works. The sandals look good. The toes look good. And then, you know, we do have the tail that looks nice. A little bit of paintwork on the tail, it looks like. And then check out the hands. I really like the hands. We've got the diamonds and the rings there. Those look really good. Same thing on this side, but he just has one diamond. But yeah, look at that. It looks awesome. And a part of me is saying that it's thinking maybe the nails should have been painted black or like a dark brown, but I'm not really 100% sure how his hands looked in the movie. I'm going to have to check that out. But just looking at this, the nails being a different color kind of caught my attention. So, I don't know. But yeah, I love the way the hands look. The rings look super cool. And just everything about the way this figure looks is extremely well done. I've got to say. It's such a, like, such a difference from Mickey Mouse, man. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm happy with the way he looks, for sure. And then aside from the two Sir Hiss figures, Prince John does come with some other really great accessories, including multiple different heads. So this is the first one that we've already looked at with the removable crown and the big goofy smile on the face. I think this one's awesome. Next up, we have another one where he kind of looks happy, but he also looks maybe like surprised or intrigued or something. I'm not 100% sure how to describe this, but I do think it looks very cool. And then last but not least, he has this other one where the crown is kind of coming off of his head and his face kind of looks annoyed. I like this one a lot. This might be my favorite head sculpt that he comes with. This is awesome. And then aside from those, he does come with multiple sets of hands. First off, we have a pair of fists. And then we have a set of open hands. And then we have a pair of fists where the diamonds are actually missing from his rings. And this is awesome because that actually happens in the movie. So I think this is a very cool thing to include. And then he does come with a gripping hand that could be used to hold on to the mirror that he comes with, and it could also be used to hold on to Sir Hiss. And both of those things fit into the grip pretty well. So although I'm pretty happy with all the accessories that he came with, I think he is missing one thing that's kind of crucial for the character. It would have been nice if he came with a hand that had the thumb sticking up and a face that you can make it look like he's sucking on his thumb, because he was doing that so often in the movie. So I think that would have been awesome. But aside from that, I think he came with everything that he needs. So I'm happy with the accessories. And then taking a close look at the mirror, this is sculpted very nicely too. As you can see here, we got some nice details on this side. And then we just have like a reflective sticker in there. And you could actually see a reflection if you're close enough. But if you're far away, you can't really see anything. But yeah, this came out nice, and it's a pretty soft plastic, so you don't have to worry about it breaking or anything, so that's always good. And then taking a very quick close look at Sir Hiss, this one came out really good. The paintwork on him is nice, the sculpting work on him is nice. You could see that We've got some nice detail like in the face. He's got his tongue sticking out, the hat, this thing on top, whatever that is. His red cape looks really good. The body looks good. Just everything about this one came out very, very nice. I wish I could say the same about this one because I really like the sculpt on him. But you could see that the paint is kind of messed up. Got a little bit of bad paint work there. And then on the eyes, you could see that it doesn't really line up where it's supposed to. But aside from that, I think this looks good. You shoot it from like this angle, you're good to go. I like the way the eyes look and the mouth and stuff. Yeah, this one came out nice. I just wish that the paint work was better on it. Alright, so now for some size comparisons. Here we have Prince John alongside the Disney Toy Box Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey and the Super7 Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey. And yeah, you know, just having these two side by side, you could see like the big difference in quality between the two figures. So at this point, I'm just calling Mickey a dud. Hopefully Pinocchio is good, but we'll see. And then next up, we have him alongside the Disney Toy Box Mickey Mouse and Disney Toy Box Donald Duck. And then next up, we have Prince John alongside the Funko Disney Afternoon Scrooge McDuck and the Funko Disney Afternoon Darkwing Duck. And I really wish that Funko kept that line going. I thought these figures were very cool. I just wish that they were more committed to accurate scale, because at one point they just started making all kinds of different characters that were different sizes, but they would make them the same size as opposed to being in scale with each other. So that's something that kind of took me out of the line, but I thought it was very cool. I'm really happy to have a Scrooge McDuck on my shelf and a Darkwing Duck. But, you know, I really hope some other company makes both of these characters. I nominate Revoltech. I think they would do a great job with both of them. And then next up, we have them alongside the Revoltech Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps from Zootopia. And man, Revoltech really needs to make more Disney figures, because every time they do one, it's awesome. Both of these figures are great. I don't have Stitch, but he looks awesome. That's one that I really regret missing out on. And recently they put out a Mickey Mouse that I think I'm going to get because he looks really good too. But I would love to see Revoltech do more Disney stuff.
And last but not least, here is next to Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Pizza Spider-Man.
And as I mentioned before, Prince John does have very basic articulation, but it's not completely useless. You can get him into some like fun poses that fit the character, but it is very, very limited. But let's go ahead and take a look, starting off with the head. His head does sit on a little ball joint, so we do get some side to side, which is nice. And we get some pretty good tilt out of the head, which is good for expressive poses, so I like that. And then he could look up to about right there and look down to right there. And that's pretty much it for the head. I do wish that he had a ball joint at the neck. I think that would have added a lot to this, because as it is right now, the torso has no articulation because the nightgown is one solid piece. So it would have added a lot to have a ball joint at the lower neck. I think that would have been cool. And then speaking of the torso, it's funny because he does have a waist swivel under this solid nightgown thing, which is hilarious to me because for whatever reason, they did not give Mickey a waist swivel when there was like a perfect spot for it. But with Prince John, they gave him this useless waist swivel that does nothing. But, you know, okay, kind of a bizarre decision, but that's what they did. So that's kind of funny. And then for the arms, they can go all the way around, which is pretty nice. You could bring them out to the side to about right there. That's pretty good. They could go in front of them to about right there. And then he does have a single jointed elbow, which only bends to right there, which is like a little bit less than 90. And then we have a swivel here at the elbow. And then at the hands, we have a swivel and a hinge. And that's cool because then you could pose them to where like making somebody kiss the rings. So I like that. And then for the legs, he does have like a ball joint at the hip, but honestly, the hip articulation is kind of useless too because of the nightgown. So you're not really going to get a whole lot out of it. You could kick forward to like right there. Could kick back to about right there. Can they come to the side? No, not really. They should have left these. They should have made this a little bit wider. That way the legs could come out to the side a little bit more. But no, you can't. Kind of stops like right there. And he does have like an upper thigh swivel kind of hidden in there. But again, you don't really get too much out of it. And then he has like a knee joint that bends to right there, which is kind of good. And the knee also has a swivel. And then at the foot, we have a hinge that goes forward to right there, comes up to right there. And then he does kind of have a rocking ankle situation at the foot. So I feel like, considering the design, they may have done a little bit too much at the legs, you know? Like, some of this stuff is kind of useless. So they kind of like half committed to the articulation down here. They might have, yeah, I don't know. Like, I wish they would have maybe made the slits on the side here a little bit wider, or maybe brought up the nightgown just a little bit, or made the legs longer or something just to get use out of the legs here. As it is right now, you really can't do too much with them. But, you know, it is what it is. You're basically going to just have him standing up all the time anyway, so it doesn't even matter. You can maybe get him into like walking poses if you want, but it's going to be a little tough because he's top heavy. So it'll be hard to, maybe something like that. Kind of make it look like he's walking, but it's really hard. Yeah, you can't really do too much with the legs. I mean, they try to put some stuff in there, but it just kind of doesn't really work out too well. Oh, and then for the tail, it does swivel around, and then there's a hinge. So you have a little bit of options there. But yeah, like I said, nothing crazy, but you could definitely get him into some fun, expressive poses, especially with the head and the hands and stuff. That's really where you're going to have fun with it. But again, I'm not going to complain too much about the articulation because, you know, I knew what I was getting into when I pre-ordered the figure. I knew he wasn't going to have good articulation because that's not really what they do. Sometimes I just kind of hope that they'll surprise us or something, you know. With Prince John, that's not really the case. But again, I'm having fun messing around with him. And yeah, it is what it is. All right, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I was fully prepared to be completely disappointed and just angry with this figure. But I'm happy to say that's not the case. I actually like this guy quite a bit. I think this Super7 did a really great job with it. He looks incredible. The soft goods are really well done. The stitching is nice. It's all very clean. Doesn't look cheap. There wasn't a whole lot of loose threads or anything like that. The sculpting work is very well done on him, especially on the head. It really does a great job of capturing the spirit of the character, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, I just love the way he looks. They did a great job with that. And then the accessories are really nice too. He comes with a bunch of great stuff. All the different heads, the hands, the mirror, and then Sir Hiss. You know, it's basically a 2-pack because you get 2 really great characters. And you also get 2 different versions of one of these characters. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. As far as articulation goes, obviously there's not a whole lot going on. But it is Super7, so this is not a company that you go to get super articulated figures. So based on my expectations of Super7, I'm really satisfied with this figure. I'm really enjoying this guy. I'm even having fun posing him around. Even though there's not a whole lot of possibilities, it's just easy to get him into goofy, funny looking poses, you know, just with his hands out, having someone kiss his rings, or just like moving his head around, giving him attitude. But yeah, aside from those 2 things, there's really not a whole lot you could do with it. But still, I'm having fun with it. So yeah, man, I really wish that this is like how I felt about the Mickey figure. Then I would have been much more excited about these figures going forward. But as it is right now, to me, it's like, all right, half of them are garbage, and the other half are pretty good so far. We'll see. You know, I'm not going to sit here and act like this thing blew me away or anything, but I'm definitely satisfied with it, and I'm happy to own it. You know, I'm going to have this on my Disney shelf, and it's going to look cool up there. Probably not going to play with it all that much, but, you know, having them up on the shelf is going to be enough for me for this character. So, yeah, I like it. I think he came out very nice. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to kiss the rings. And also be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. If you're not aware, I do go live every... what days do I go live? Oh, yeah, every Friday at 7 p.m. and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So come through, let's talk about toys and get weird. Thank you very much. Peace.